Hi everyone, welcome to Clive Conversation with You. For those who are new to us, Clive's Conversation is a channel that discusses and shares insights more about health and wellness topics. So if you like our content, do remember to like, share and subscribe. In this series of Clive's Conversation with You, we want to touch base with you. We want to listen to your inspiring life stories on how you overcome daily challenges, and we hope that through these stories, others can feel connected and find strength in their daily lives. November is the month of Men's Health Awareness Month. Some of you may be familiar with the Movember movement, where men grow moustaches to raise awareness on several health conditions of men, such as prostate cancer, testicular cancer, and men's suicide. The goal of Movember is to change the face of men's health. For today's episode, we are happy to have invited Jonas Yeo, a trader and a passionate dancer, to join us. Let's welcome Jonas. Hello, welcome Jonas.
Hello.
Do you want to say hi to everyone first?
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Jonas. Currently a forex trader, and started off my career as a dance instructor and doing dance events and stuff like that when I first came up to the workforce. But now I'm currently trading as a profession.
Okay. So when you first came to Clive Wellness, you had several health conditions. Do you want to share with everyone?
Okay. A lot of my health issues actually came from dance and what I was doing as a dance instructor, and I was doing dance events and stuff like that. So a lot of physical conditions were caused by being young, and I tend to forego a lot of warm-ups, a lot of things that actually you should be doing if you are doing vigorous exercise. Warm-up, cool-downs, actually physical conditioning. I used to be like, I'm young, I don't need to do all these things.
Forgo them.
Yeah, I just it's okay, I'm young and it's fine. And I think that actually caused quite a bit of damage to myself, especially to my spine. Yeah, because I started off doing what people know as breakdancing and stuff like that. So there was a lot of moves that actually, as you can see, I'm not a very built person, and I'm not built like 10 years ago as well. So a lot of things actually, once it hit my body, there was no need to cover a lot of stuff. So I actually got diagnosed with degenerative disc, and it's a multi-level. It was multi-level degenerative disc, and I had a slip disc as well. So it's a pretty messy situation at my spine. And when I got diagnosed with it, that was actually at the time where I started teaching. So basically, starting to get some money finally from your passion. So it was something that, wow, okay, I can actually try to do this for life or whatever I thought I was doing those years ago. Then when I got diagnosed with it, it was pretty devastating, because the spine, actually, we don't even talk about dancing, just simple things like standing, sitting, sleeping, climbing stairs that everybody does, was affected because of the injury. It was to the extent where every time I dance, not even to my 100%, I would suddenly feel a sharp pain shooting up my spine, and next thing I can't stand. So that's the first time it acted up. Went to check up, and I found out that that's the condition. So that is the main thing. Other than that, it's probably from I was juggling doing a dance career, dance events, and all these kind of things with school. So there was not a lot of proper rest. So I think that caused other issues in my health as well. Yeah. So generally, that was the base of the conditions when I first came to Clive.
So when you first discovered this condition, like when the doctor first told you all this, how do you feel?
Wow. It was very tough, because all I was thinking was, okay, can I recover from this injury before I went into the doctor's room, so I can continue doing what I love? A young boy doing what you love. And the doctor said, you actually have to take care of yourself, because, like I said previously, things like standing and walking will be affected for life. It's not a condition where it's like a sprain, or when I was younger, I suffered a lot of sprains and dislocations and stuff like that. It's not just and then goes back in place, then you rest for a while, recover. This is a condition that actually is supposed to last for life. So when the doctor told me that, I was really in a state of shock, because does that mean that I can't do what I love anymore from here onwards to the level that I want to, And the doctor said, yes, basically you can't. So it was really quite tough for younger me thinking that this probably is something that I want to do for the rest of my life as much as possible.
It's as much as you giving up a dream.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So were there any like proposed treatments by the doctor so that you can get back in shape?
The doctor said we could go for surgery, but they highly recommend me to not do it because for people with this condition, actually he was saying it's normally for older people, like the people maybe in their 40s and above, and it's already very risky for them. For me, because I'm so young, and and it's really quite a mess at the lower part of my spine. And it's lower part of my spine. So with a lot of nerves over there, the risk of the operation is actually very, very high. If it fails, I could pretty much be, crippled for the rest of my life. So that was one. And the other thing the doctor said is so obviously to me I'm like, okay, what is the other alternative? He said, deal with the pain. We could with your diagnosis, you can actually get a prescription for a very strong painkiller that you are not supposed to buy off the shelves and stuff like that because it's a little bit too strong. But you might need it because the pain, the pain. And I was like, yeah, it's crippling pain. Deal with the pain, and whenever the pain comes, pop your painkiller, wait till the pain subsides, and hope that the condition never reaches to the point where you need surgery. Because as the term degenerative this goes, it's only going to get worse. It's like, it's part of aging and stuff like that. Some people just, when they get older, they just get it. But mine is like, I'm 20. So can you imagine how many more years this is going to degenerate till? So it's just, and that's where the doctor said, but yeah, the later you need the surgery, the higher the risk is. So it's a
dilemma.
Yeah, do I take it now? This is the youngest time of my life, so I can actually do the surgery. The risk is significantly lower than when I might need to take it maybe 20, 30, 40 years later, where the risk is a lot higher. But yet at the same time, what if it fails? I'm only 20-ish, I might live the rest of my life because of this. So that's what the doctor said, and he said it's up to me. He didn't want to make the decision for me. And talk about physiotherapy as well to actually build up the muscles and stuff to strengthen the body. That's pretty much what the doctor told me.
Because I remember we do have a lot of clients with degenerative these issues. They have bowel movement problems also. Do you experience something similar or any other inconveniences?
Definitely. This is something that I noticed probably in the past few years when you start to have conversations with friends, and then you start to realize actually I don't hold my bowels as well as them. Sometimes when people say urgent, I need to go to the toilet. My urgent is very urgent. I'm not the kind that can hold my bowels very well. Even if I want to go for a pee as well, it's I cannot hold it very well. I need to find a toilet ASAP. So this is something that I realized that in comparison, because before that you don't want to compare my you need to go to the toilet, let's compare how long we can hold it, But as years go by, you notice things. Yeah, so definitely that was one of the things that affected me as well.
So, this may be a very sensitive question. Could you imagine yourself being bedridden or not being able to walk for the rest of your life? And having to rely on others for your daily needs?
Rather than having to imagine it, because of the condition, I've experienced it multiple times. Because when the condition acts up, I literally can't stand. So I would have problems even getting out of bed, going to the toilet. So can you imagine a guy that has poor bowel control, and then you need to get off the bed to go to the toilet, and family, everybody's working, you need to try to grab things to get off the bed, and then try to grab things to get to the toilet, and then back to the bed as well. So there's a lot of times that these kind of things you realize that you take for granted, and those kind of times were really, really frustrating when you think about it. That what if I have to be like this for the rest of my life? It was a very big fear that I had to deal with. Definitely.
Understand. So I believe this is really not an easy journey for you, because men has been brought up to be strong, and then a lot of times they don't want to show their vulnerable sides. So how do you cope with this situation? Or how do you manage your own emotions when you go through all these tough times?
This question, I think when it comes to tough times, because of this condition, I think I have started to experience, or I had to learn how to deal with it from a very young age, I guess, just from this condition itself. The idea and the thought of like you having a dream that you have to like let go. So dream wise, it's just the passion of doing what you love, and then the next thing is like being able to make a career out of your passion. That's another thing that a lot of people dream of, like athletes or like like artists and stuff like that. And the part that I had to like forego this possibility, and also with the dance related business events and workshops that I used to do when I was younger, that business also didn't go well. I was young, there were some mistakes that we made, and that plus the injury added together, I think I had to deal with this kind of like anxiety, and a certain kind of like helplessness when you're looking forward for the rest of your life, because that was something that I while I was in school, I pretty much told my teachers that it's okay, I don't need like good results because I know I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
Which is dance.
Dance or dance related things, and just in that direction. I was studying accounting and finance. So
different.
Yeah. So a lot of my teachers were like, okay, everybody, when you after your diploma, you're going to go for university, you're going to get ACCA or all the different kind of like papers to get you become an accountant, an auditor, or basically work in the finance line. I was just like, it's okay. This is not what I will do. So I didn't really study hard, and I just told my teachers why, and then everything just collapsed. So when I was younger, I think I didn't know what to do. So there was a lot of requirement on like having good friends. I think first of all, the people that you would open your heart up to are very important. Then the people that you surround yourself with, because they could easily just like make you feel worse about yourself or encourage you and to basically give you that positivity and belief in yourself that actually you can do anything. It's not specifically a certain thing, but anything. So I think the support of people around you, the environment is very important, number one. Secondly, what I started to pick up on recently was starting to do things like yoga. Especially from being breakdance background, like very like cool, that kind of stuff. And remembering that I'm a guy that don't like to do warm-ups, cool-downs, conditioning. So I always had an issue with flexibility as well. So it's like yoga is like more gentle, more soft, more stretching. I was so like against it, but started to see what it did to a very close friend of mine, and he brought me to do it with him, and I started to have this habit in my life, and I realized that physically, of course, it has also helped in terms of because I'm still dealing with this condition that I have. Physically, it has helped me become a lot more mobile, functional. Don't even talk about being like athletic, but just functional. But because of that, I realized that I could actually dance more like freely. That's one thing. So I think that gave me a certain sense of like achievement, because we don't talk about being able to dance. We just talk about being more functional and like having more mobility. You don't realize how important it is until you have lost it. A very cliche line, but because I know how it's like to restrict my movements for the past maybe almost 10 years since I had a condition. Yeah. So you're so familiar with this range that you're allowed to move in, and suddenly you realize that
it's gone.
Yeah, your range just widened. Then you felt good, like okay, I actually can move here and it doesn't hurt. I can move here and it doesn't hurt. And I can move from here to here with more speed now. And I will not risk being bedridden for 2-3 days. And it all came from a cumulative build up from yoga that I built up in myself in terms of like physical functionality. And then you realize that actually it takes time. Small things take time, and then you build up for yourself. When you can feel it, that gave me a lot of confidence. And other than that, actually, yoga has a component where it's some sort of like a meditation in movement. So with that, that actually helped to give me a lot of peace. So you start to gain a lot more control over your thoughts, because you cannot be in like a pose in like yoga and be thinking like, okay, what to eat, like, you can't do that. You have to be there to really
be present.
You have to be present to really like, okay, focus on this position, especially a person with a condition, right? In this position I have to be like, okay, like I have to breathe and I make sure I'm not like getting bedridden after this, So with that I have to be very present, focus on my breath, and like, okay, anything that doesn't feel good, like, okay, don't challenge yourself. And with that, I gain a lot more, I think, clarity and control in my headspace. And you realize that actually this can be translated to times that you are not doing yoga as well. And then with that, there's a lot more peace, there's a lot more clarity in the head, which I realized that you don't realize how nice it is to have peace in your head until you actually have peace in your head. Because, as people grow up, responsibilities come, adulthood, society, bills, and all that kind of stuff. You don't realize how much space is started taking in your head. Then with this, you realize that actually you could just like develop this space in your head that you can actually be like clear of all those, and then you can actually look at things from you're not being like bombarded by all these different kind of emotions, different kind of stress, different kind of pressure, and you can just be like, okay, I just need to do this. So there's a lot more space and clarity. So with that, you do things with more. Yeah, I have to repeat the word peace.
And control.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you open yourself up to people? Because it's really not easy, right? Because just now you mentioned that it's very important to have a healthy support group. So, it's not easy to talk through your feelings and all. So how do you overcome that?
I have always been quite a talkative person.
Vocal.
Quite vocal as a person, Wasn't afraid to show my emotions. Yeah. Be good or bad, So those who know me will remember a side of me that has probably some anger management issues when I was younger, like I get angry, I do not
hold back.
I just let it out, But I think when it comes to having a group of friends, I think it's really very important that you find people that you really can be yourself with. I think that's something that's very important, because a lot of times it's the inability to accept who you are that makes you, develop a lot of negative thoughts towards yourself. Like, I don't like this part of me because of this reason. I think people don't like this part of me because of this reason. And the more you feel that way about yourself, the more you will develop negative thoughts towards yourself. And this is something that I came to realize, because I think in the past 10 years, I probably have different episodes of like being overwhelmed by negative emotions. And when you don't know how to let it out, it's like a kid, and kids know how to let it out. But when you don't know if you can let it out, that is where you start damaging yourself from within. Your thoughts and your behaviors and everything, and basically spirals from inside out. From your headspace all the way to how you are treating your body, to how you are treating other people, and everything just becomes worse. So yeah, I have times like that where I'm very thankful to have friends who saw things in me that I forgotten at a point of time. So I would say this one is out of your control, whether you actually have friends who, like people around who can spot certain things, the good in you when you can't. That is out of my control. But what I say a person can do is, you have to, as much as possible, sort out it as much as you can through whatever ways, maybe through meditation or maybe even go for therapy. Therapy is being like frowned upon as like, like I'm mentally ill, so I should not go for therapy. But actually, I think therapy helps a lot because it allows you to have a space where you actually can go and explore all these things that you actually didn't dare to, or you didn't know how to do, which actually causes a lot of character problems. Where other people are, I see this person is this way, this person is that way. we avoid him and stuff like that. Actually, a lot of things is inside that you didn't know how to deal with and you didn't deal with. So everybody should actually go, and I actually feel that everybody should go and look into more things like that. Not for the sake of other people, right? Just for yourself. So your view on yourself is more positive. And then when your view on yourself is more positive, you are able to bring out the better side of you. The empathy aspect. Especially for me, what I realized was being somebody that was thrown into such a helpless state when I was younger due to my injury and first business failure and stuff like that. There were a lot of negative emotions I felt towards myself, and thankfully I somehow through that developed empathy for other people. Because of this, when you see people getting injured, and feeling helpless, they start becoming like destructive. And then I'm like, I know how that feels. And you develop empathy, and when people fail in certain things, I develop that empathy. And with that, I think you actually will connect to more people. Rather seek to understand, rather to judge. Because of the things that I faced, I was able to gain a perspective to understand why a person feels like that. Yeah, so with that, I think you will be able to, show more positivity, I would say. And hope somebody sees it, and this person would be around to remind you of certain maybe good things that you've done for them, certain good energy that you have given to them when they needed it, when you need it, so they can return it back to you. I think that's how people can have a certain kind of support. You have to support others. Yeah, you have to be able to give other people this time, space, empathy, and understanding when you can, and then likewise they will return to you.
So you pass this positive energy around.
Yeah.
So do you have any word of advice for those who are undergoing maybe chronic pain or very dark moments in their life?
Let's talk about chronic pain first. Maybe for me, try to seek. I think believing in your ability to overcome this feeling of helplessness is more important than actually dealing with the pain. Because certain things, like especially certain chronic pain, can never be, you can't recover from it. But do not let it give you more pain than it has already given you. And same thing for dark moments in your life, because that is probably mental pain. Dark moments are mental things that, and if you let it stick with you, it becomes chronic mental pain as well. So for all this pain, do not let it hurt you more than the original pain that it has caused you. And seek support from your loved ones, and learn how to love yourself. That is what I feel is most important. Learn how to love yourself, and then that actually solves a lot of things. Yeah.
Do you have any last words to our audience?
Last words, you are going to undergo, you're going to go through pain anyway, so just as much as you can learn from things rather than suffer from things. Yeah, so that's probably how I want to end this.
Thank you, Jonas, for your time today.
Welcome.
Thank you, Jonas, for joining us in today's episode and also sharing with us your vulnerable moments. Many a times, men have difficulty expressing their emotions because this may be perceived as a sign of weakness. However, we want to remind everyone that there's no shame in reaching out for help, and it is important to find a healthy outlet for stress. For Jonas's case, he has a very strong support group that helped him in this journey, and also at the same time, he used yoga as an avenue to express himself. So for yoga, it actually strengthened him not only physically, but emotionally and also mentally. We also want to remind everyone that it is okay not to be okay, and it is okay to say that you're not okay. Thank you everyone for joining us today. If you like what we have over here, do remember to click like, share and subscribe, and comment below on the other stories you would like us to feature. We'll see you the next time. Bye!